Permission to play in the Saudi golf event? Is the PGA Tour hypocritical? It is no longer news that there's a long-standing beef between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf. One might assume that the PGA Tour has monopolized the golf industry, but is that really the case? What happens when a newbie is getting on the nerves of the champ? Is that kudos on the quality? Or is the newbie just annoying? What happens when the PGA reverts its stand? Are they being reasonable or just hypocrites? Today, we'll be looking at how and why the PGA approved 4 of its members to participate in the Saudi International Golf event, despite its negative perception on it and relationship with the LIV golfers. PGA versus LIV Golf. Origin. The idea of a fledgling competitor to the PGA Tour has lurked in the shadows for years, discussed as a provocative hypothetical, but one whose reality and viability were routinely dismissed. Only LIV Golf has proved in very little time how real and formidable it can be, siphoning talent from the PGA and DP World Tours and threatening a schism that could tear the collective tissue of professional golf into pieces. The emergence of the Saudi-backed circuit has resulted in breakups and alliances and caused suspensions and lawsuits. It has made a game known for its civility become uncivil and brought politics and human rights issues into a space supposedly reserved for sport. It has spurred reactions that span the emotional spectrum, from intrigue to excitement to existential angst and dread, and everything in between. While all that is true, they are mostly trappings of the present. What really matters is, where is this going? Is the voice correct that the novelty of LIV Golf is not just a curiosity, but indeed the future? Or does the venture share the destiny of so many other rogue professional leagues that similarly propose disruption only to end in a graveyard? How secure is the PGA Tour? And how does an entity shackled by finite resources do battle against not a company but a country with seemingly unlimited assets at its disposal? Is there room for cooperation, coexistence? And if not, what are the ramifications the longer this war wages? The inaugural season of the multi-million-dollar LIV Golf Series began in June 2022. The project, surrounded by controversies, held its first event at the Centurion Golf Club in London from June 9 to 11. So far, the first 3 events of the scheduled 8 events have concluded successfully. The LIV Golf Series is backed by Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman's Public Investment Fund, PIF. The sovereign wealth fund-backed tour was introduced as a rival to the established PGA Tour. The series made headlines as it was announced as the biggest golf tour in history. While the series structure is new and experimental, it has gained popularity owing to its whopping prize pool. Designed as an alternative to the current PGA Tour, the LIV Golf Series consists of 8 54-hole tournaments. The event has changed format from the usual 72-hole events. The 7-event regular competition will see 48 players compete in 12 teams. According to the makers, each event will have separate prizes for each player involved. Each of the LIV Golf Series events will have different players as captains of teams, which will be finalized just days before the event. The series also has a hefty prize purse of $285 million. The prize will be divided among each of the 7 individual events. Thus, each event will have a prize money of $25 million. Moreover, the winner of each event will get $4 million, and the player finishing last in the tournament will get $120,000. Interestingly, $30 million from the prize purse is set aside for the top 3 players. At the end of the tournament, the team with the most points will win $12 million, while the 12th place team will win $1 million. The overall individual champion will be announced at the end of the tournament based on the points secured throughout the season. The LIV Golf Controversy. The LIV Golf Series controversy has gained traction since the concept was first floated. While the traditionalists, backed by the PGA Tour, slammed the newly introduced series, others cited political reasons for dismissing LIV. Many have blatantly opposed the series as Saudi Arabia's PIF backs it. The country's move to promote the new golf series internationally is seen as a political strategy for cleansing their global image. A large part of the controversy over the series revolves around Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince's involvement in various cases, including the murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, is being brought forth to oppose the series. Meanwhile, the Saudi government's alleged involvement in the 9/11 attacks in New York has also been stated by many. This blew up after families of people killed or injured during the September 11 attacks penned an open letter to PGA Tour golfers. Around 2,500 people thanked the golfers for not siding with LIV. PGA's hypocrisy. As we have discussed, the major reason participation was bluntly refused by the PGA in its players' participation in LIV Golf tournament is due to the history and background of the LIV Golf investors, the human rights issues, murder, and a lot more conspiracy, which includes 9/11. Why then will they allow 4 of their members to participate in the Saudi International Golf event sponsored by Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman's Public Investment Fund, PIF? What is the Saudi International Golf event? Established in 2019 as a European Tour event, it was the first European Tour event to be played in Saudi Arabia and was one of 6 European Tour events staged in the countries on the Arabian Peninsula. The event has drawn criticism due to the involvement of Saudi Arabia's government in the event, based on their record of human rights within the country and their ventures of sports washing. This included paying large appearance fees to some of the world's top players. The tournament ceased to be a European Tour event after the 2021 edition, and later that year it was announced that as a result, the PGA Tour would not allow their members to compete in future editions, with the European Tour expected to do the same. In September 2021, it was announced that it would become part of the Asian Tour schedule. This involved a 10-year deal starting in 2022, with an increased prize fund of US $5 million. In October, it was announced that the event would become the flagship event of the Asian Tour. In December, the PGA Tour revealed that they would grant their members releases to play in the event in 2022, on the condition that they committed to play at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am in some form in following years. In January 2022, it was announced that the Saudi Public Investment Fund had become the new title sponsor of the event. Some PGA Tour players have requested and been granted conflicting event releases to play in the Saudi International. The event is sanctioned by the Asian Tour and notably sponsored by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which is the primary backer of LIV Golf. A provision in the PGA Tour Player Handbook and Tournament Regulations prohibits tour players from playing in events when there is a PGA Tour approved or sponsored event taking place at the same time. Per the handbook, players who reach the 15-event minimum, which a member must meet as a condition of their membership voting rights, are eligible for 3 conflicting event releases per season, which is why so many tour players were allowed to play in last year's Saudi Invitational. However, the regulations also state such requests can be denied. Given the symmetry between the event and LIV Golf, it would have been understandable had the tour turned down the requests. Why then did the PGA allow its players to participate in the event? Doesn't it sound absurd? Or somewhat hypocritical? Now we have come to the end of today's video. What do you think the PGA is up to? Have they made a side deal with PIF? Are they hypocrites with their decision made to allow their members to participate? What would you have done differently if you were in charge of the PGA? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Ensure you hit the subscribe button to enjoy more videos like this. Tap that bell icon to ensure you get a notification whenever a new video drops.